Okay, so we're going to be doing three things in this video. We're going to be calculating the capital improvements. We're going to be calculating the capital reserves, and then we're going to bring it all together in the cash flow before debt. Uh, yeah, that's what it's called, debt service. Just need to check my notes there really quick. Okay, so the first thing, what we're going to do, I'm going to write down capital improvements, okay? Capital improvements are just basically the money that we give to tenants to upgrade stuff. Part of the deal. Make them want to buy the property more. So this is going to be more of a logical understanding. And once we get that, the formula will make sense. So here's how it works. In between these 2 months, oh, and by the way, the exam instructions say we're going to do this on a straight line basis for the capital improvements. What that basically means is that if you have 10 bucks and you have 2 months that are going to be for capital improvements, then that 10 bucks will be $5 in each month, divided evenly. And that's what we're doing. So between months 12 and 24, beginning of the month 12, that's going to be important later, that this $200,000 is going to be divided up between these months. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. So let's begin with our equation. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make an if statement and then an and statement, because we want to test if this value, this month here, is going to be in between month 12 and 24. Okay, so we want this month to be either greater or equal than month 12, lock that cell, or we want this month, whatever month that is, to be less than or equal to this month. Lock that in. And we're using the cells use because we're building it dynamically. If this month changes, then the whole thing is going to change as well. Okay, perfect. So these are the two things that we want to make sure, because this is the range in which our values are going to be testing for. So if that's true, if we're in month 12 to 24, what do we want to happen? Well, first we're going to put a negative sign because this is going to be an outflow of cash, what 10 improvements are, or capital improvements. And then we're going to take this 200,000, lock it in, and we're going to divide it. What are we dividing it by? Well, you might be tempted to just put 12 because you see 24 and 12, and that's 12 months for you. But we're not going to do that because we want to build this dynamically, and there's a little extra piece of information that's going to be important. That's actually not going to make it 12. What we're going to do is we're going to take this month, lock it in, minus this month, the lesser month, lock it in, and then we're going to add 1. Why is that the case? Because this is at the beginning of the month, which means we count month 12 as being part of this amount for improvements. So if you actually count it, month 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Look at that. That is 13 months, not 12. So we're adding that extra 1 in. And if the value is not in between months 12 and 24, including months 12 and 24, then the value will be 0. And that's it. I'm going to copy all the way to the end. And now we can see that in months 12 to 24, that will be when we're giving money for the capital improvements. And now if we go back and change some information here, let's say like we change this to 1. Boom. You see that? Now it's going to be months 1 to 24. Okay, it might be faster. Just go like this. Look, 1 to 24. Amazing, isn't it? So we're gonna take that back. The next thing we're gonna do is capital reserves. Okay, capital reserves. And so what we're gonna do for capital reserves is we're gonna put a 0 in the first one because that's our acquisition date. And now we are going to be taking our property square footage, lock that in, multiply it by a negative value, because this is going to be an outflow, by the capital reserves, lock it in, divided by 12, because we want this on a per month basis. And now we want to account for the growth. So we are going to be doing 1 plus the capital reserve growth, lock that in. And now we are going to be doing something differently than we're used to. We're actually going to use the year. instead of the month. And now we subtract 1. So it doesn't grow on the first year. Okay, so now if we drag that across, now you can see on right here, on the 13th month, you'll see that there is $40 added. That is the 2% that is being added. And all the way at the end, you should get a value like that. So now we are on our final stages of doing this. We're going to copy this. Okay, I'm going to paste it in. And this is going to be our cash flow. Let's get that boldening. Cash flow before debt service. Okay. And here's a little Excel tip for you. You're going to click Alt-H-O-I. And you see that? The borders fit it. So if you had something super long like that, and you wanted to fit that in, you go Alt-H-O-I. Boom. It's actually one of my favorite little shortcuts. So if you actually take a look here, you'll see that it's summed all the way to capital improvements and capital reserves. We actually want to also include the net operating income. So what we're going to do, F2 on a cell, bring this until you get that arrow, and we'll drag it up 1. And now if we go all the way here, we should get some positive values. Now you see that terrible, terrible border there. We don't want that. So we're going to undo that. We're going to copy, bring it over, and then we're going to do Alt-H, V, and an F. And that will only calculate the formulas. Perfect. And you might notice that these ones do not have side, what's it called? The side, oh, whoops. You see it has no border on the side. So we're actually just going to fix that really quick. All the way here, Alt-H, B, and we want a right border. We want R. Boom. Just like that. And so now we have our cash flow before debt service. Isn't that excellent? So now we're going to try to do this with speed. I don't know how that's going to go.